أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On 25th of Shawwal, year 148 AH, the sixth Imam, Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi salam, was martyred on the hand of the Abbasid Caliph Abu Ja'far al-Mansur. What do we know from this great Imam? Many people describe the school of Shia, the 12 verses, as the Ja'fari school. And by that, they refer to Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi salam. We want to discuss one thing, brothers and sisters, to see whether he was only the father of jurisprudence, the head of teaching people in Medina and Kufa jurisprudence, Islamic law, philosophy, and hadith, or his knowledge and concern was much greater than a specific subject, and that is Islamic law. We find that he was familiar, well acquainted, and concerned with physiology, with chemistry, with anatomy, and each of these may be something astonishing to you, because you think that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he was man of faith. He was the Imam who only had to elaborate on the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith from his forefathers, the Imams alayhi salam. Let us remember one thing, and that a gentleman called Jabir ibn Hayyan al-Kufi, who is known by many as the father of chemistry. His discovery and research about the atomic theory and many other subjects are well known amongst the researchers. Yes, Jabir ibn Hayyan, the father of chemistry, was student of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. He learned from Imam many things. So, if you want to know more about this gentleman, Jabir ibn Hayyan al-Kufi or al-Azdi, you can refer to many sources, including the book of Farhat Hussein, which is published and distributed by Waterstone. In that, you can find the brief explanation about the works of Jabir ibn Hayyan, the father of chemistry. Nowadays, they teach you, brothers and sisters, at the universities that chemistry, physics, mathematics, and all other types of technology are only suggested and introduced by the West during the Renaissance, during the 17th or 18th century. But when we have a deep research, we find even as early as the first half of the second Hijri century, we see that these subjects were taught and were a center of attention of great Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, to whom we really are in debt. We are proud of learning from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, not only on the commentary of the Quran and the hadith, but even this field of chemistry, and again what we know about the physiology. With regard to physiology, let us make it clear that someone in the name of Al-Mufaddal ibn Umar al-Ju'fi went to the Imam alayhi salam and said, "Oh, Allah's Messenger's son," or Yabna Rasulillah, people caused a lot of confusion in the mind about monotheism, about Allah Almighty and His knowledge, His wisdom, and His creation. So, what shall I do? The Imam told him, "You come tomorrow early hours of the morning with a pen and paper, and I teach you what will help you a lot in strengthening your faith, deepening your knowledge about monotheism." So, for 4 consecutive days, we see that this Al-Mufaddal ibn Umar, with the sunrise, goes to knock at the door of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, listen to him, the Imam dictates, and Al-Mufaddal writes the notes. When all these were compiled later, a treatise in the name of Tawheed al-Mufaddal became available to all generations after Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Brothers and sisters, I'll let you know about something maybe new to you. I'm sure that you heard about William Harvey, who was the greatest physiologist, and his findings were very, very important. Indeed, he was the first to describe accurately how blood was pumped around the body by the heart. In other way, let's know that there are 2 circulations of the blood within each of us. One in a shorter term and shorter circle, and the other one with the greater circle. For centuries, everybody knew only the shorter one. But this was William Harvey, who died in year 1657, only 350 years ago. So he was a British physician, and as I said, they considered him as the greatest physiologist who explained and described this journey, the whole greater circulation of the blood throughout every organ and part of the body. This was new to people, new to scientists. But let us admit, let us know that Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, in the year 140 after Hijrah, some 13 centuries ago, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam explains to Al-Mufaddal ibn Umar al-Ju'fi this idea, this reality, this fact, which 13 centuries later was introduced by someone in the name of William Harvey. So, is it right to describe Imam Sadiq alayhi salam not only a jurist, not only the professor of all Islamic thoughts and rulings, but even being concerned with chemistry, physiology, and many other branches of science that people are benefiting nowadays? Yes, for 4 days, Al-Mufaddal ibn Umar al-Ju'fi learned the anatomy, the different ways even for zoology. Zoology, the life of animals and what is a speciality in them. So when we find these, we must appreciate that we have imams, great imams, who save no time in educating our ancestors and producing things which became known to people after many, many centuries. So, this is what we remember in the commemoration for the Shahadat, the martyrdom of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Another area of Imam Sadiq's concern again was about theology and philosophy. Brothers and sisters, we know that the issue of predestination or free will is one of the most complicated ideas in philosophy, not only in Islam, in all schools of thought. Indeed, someone such as Jean-Jacques Rousseau says that the big difference between animals and human beings is the free will. So you may see different definitions or ways of differentiation between animal which make the human beings superior to other animals in different ways. But according to Jean-Jacques Rousseau, this is the free will, the ability to decide and to choose and weigh things, then decide for it, is the unique distinction for the human beings. Now, whilst many Muslims, many scholars in Islam, from the time of the Prophet ﷺ until the time of Imam Sadiq, for some 120 years, 28 years before the martyrdom of the Imam, these people started to educate everybody and promote the idea of predestination, which means the lack of free will by us. And this was the effort, the role of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam in shedding light on the subject of free will. Prove it to say that no, predestination jabr is not correct, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaving everything to person, to people to decide again is not right. It is al-amru bayn al-amrayn. Neither this extreme in lacking the free will, nor the other extreme to say that we are free to do everything and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not intervene in our work or in our behavior at all. None of them is correct. And in a very, very nice way, he taught this to his students, whether in Medina or later on in Kufa. We see that Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam gave every details for the principles of free will and negated the predestination and the other opinions, whether people such as the Ash'arites or Mu'tazilites believed and advocated before. So it is high time for us to learn more about Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, to see the widening the horizons of knowledge, opening windows to Muslims to know more about Islam and to see the great value of our Imams. That is the responsibility of all researchers or speakers, and in the end, everybody who is considering himself or herself as the followers of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam and all other Imams, والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.